Welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. My name is Julie Baca and I love to share card making tips and ideas with you. I also sell the supplies. Sign up for my weekly email to receive free project sheets and updates on sales. Now today's card has a really simple layout, as you can see, but I did that on purpose to highlight the embossing folders that we're going to use. Let me show you close up. Look at all that fantastic texture. It makes it so interesting. That texture is created using embossing folders. These are the checks and dots folders, and they come in a pack of 2 for just 10 bucks. For the sentiment on the front and the inside of the card, I'm going to be using the Sunny Sentiment stamp set. I used this same set last week for a different project. You can go back and watch that video, but I just wanted to show you a different way to use this stamp set. I love this because I can use it for the main reasons I send out cards: birthday, thank you, and thinking of you. As far as the papers you're going to need for this card, I'm using basic white thick. This is really nice and thick, so you have like a nice quality card. This is 8.5 by 5.5. Then you're going to need a scrap of white for your sentiment, and then a piece of black to highlight it underneath. Now I cut this at 2 by 2.5, and then this by 2.25 by 2 3/4. Now if you want to stamp and then cut out, you can do that and not have to worry about the measurements, but just bump up your black piece 1/4 inch on each side. Now's the fun part where you can really have some variety and make this a card perfect for the person that you're sending it to, whether it's a guy or a girl. Choose their favorite colors. The measurements on these 2 pieces really don't matter too much. This is just a geometric card, but I can give you the measurements if you'd want to copy this exactly. This is 1.5 by 4 3/4, and this piece is 4 by 3.5. Now you don't have to worry about these measurements. I've got them over on my website, sunnydaystamping.com. Now, if you'd prefer to be able to print out all the instructions on one sheet, here I've got the measurements, written instructions, linked to this YouTube video, and on the back, a link to all the supplies and a list of all the supplies. These are my free print and make project sheets that I send to my email subscribers just to make it easy to be able to reproduce the projects that I'm making. So, and if you're watching this video and it's not in the week that I've sent these out, just email me and let me know, and I will send these to you right away. All right, let's start with the fun part and with a quick tip. On your embossing folders, you can see that there is a line there, and that's there purposely so that you can line up your paper so that your image that you're embossing will be, straight and not crooked, which is really important with this geometric one. I'm also going to line this up over here so it's all in a straight line. Now I am purposely, just for interest, not going to emboss this little section. You could do that if you wanted to, though. I'm going to do the same thing with my little scrap using the polka dots, line it up, and I'm going to go run this through my embossing machine. I just love opening these up because for some reason I'm just like so happily surprised every time I open it. So now you're going to take your card base and fold it in half. And I'm going to use my bone folder just to make a nice crease here. And grab your glue, and we're going to glue this piece on. Now I'm going to line this up so there's a little bit of space here at the bottom, but I want this to be lined up perfectly on the edge of my card. So I am going to run my finger along here and make sure I don't see any white peeking through before I press this down. That is one of the beauties of that liquid glue, because you can kind of move your paper around. Now take your polka dot piece. Now I'm going to line this edge up with the bottom, leaving a space on the right to show my unembossed piece or section, making sure that is nice and flat and flush along the bottom. Okay, now let's stamp the sentiment. I'm going to ink this up with black Memento ink and just try to stamp it right in the middle. There we go. I did line up my paper on my grid paper, and I lined up my stamp on my block to have the most chance of success. Now, Stampin' Up! The basic white, thick and regular, they are super smooth to make you get the best stamped image, but that means they just take I notice a little bit longer to dry, so give that a second. Now glue this on to your black piece. I'm trying not to rub over my stamped part because it will smear if I didn't wait long enough. All right, now you can glue this directly on your card, but I am going to use dimensionals. These are just little adhesive pieces that will pop this up off of my card just to give it even more interest. I'm going to put one on each corner and one in the middle to keep it from sagging. Now, in placing this, I want to see some of this paper here, and I want this to extend above my yellow, and I want enough space of white on the top, and I want it to be straight. Hold on a minute. Was that straight? I can't tell. All right. The last thing we're going to do is just not keep the inside of our card blank and choose a sentiment out of here. I'm going to use this thank you. And I just want to show you a quick tip. A lot of times with these bigger stamps, it's hard to make them straight. So I line it up on my grid paper, and then I take my block and I make sure those are lined up on my grid paper to make sure that's in the center. Now I'm just using black ink, but you could definitely use color that coordinates with the cardstock you chose. Oh, I kind of smudged that. I kind of twisted the stamp when I was taking it off. So don't do that. Lift it straight up. Here is our simple, funky card that was really so quick to make. Let me show you some of my other variations. This one would obviously be for a woman, and this is for a guy I know who's in the Navy, and so I used navy colors. And here are some that are kind of more in the pastel range of colors. You can see you can make a ton of these cards just by changing the color. Let me know which color combination you try. My little channel has been growing so much this past month. Thank you so much for subscribing. Have a sunny day.